Hey everyone, Mad About Minifigs here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm moving, and so I needed to take my Lego Hogwarts display down. But before I did that, I took some photos that I thought I would share with you so that you can all see how I typically display all of my Hogwarts Lego builds. And once I build them again in the future after I move, I can show you the kind of after. This is the before, and we'll see if I change anything in my new setup. So first, here's just a general view of what my Hogwarts castle looks like. I've got a lot of different sections of the castle, and some of them are kind of just set there and not connected. Some of them are hanging by a thread to stay connected. But I really like how this looks. It's got a lot of different depth to it. The gray castle pieces are kind of to one side, and the green roof pieces are to the other side. Maybe one side has had more wear from the sun. And then in the corner, I have Hagrid's hut and the Forbidden Forest, which we can look at shortly, but you can kind of see the corner of that there. So here it is. I like to display my Great Hall having a thestral fly over it, so it looks like it's flying up into the Forbidden Forest. I have a couple of forest pieces there, including the Whomping Willow. And this is where you'll find the centaurs, Grop, and Thestrals. And then we have Hagrid's hut in front of that with Buckbeak. He's got a few visitors from the Order and Creature trailing along behind Sirius there. So this is kind of the part of the castle I hadn't quite figured out yet, because technically I have two Dumbledore's offices. So right now here's the one, and I'm not entirely sure what I want to do so that there's only one. For other duplicate rooms, I have made some modifications, which you will see, but I haven't figured it out for this one yet. And then we get a glimpse of my Gryffindor dorms, which we will look at in a minute. But first, in front here, I've got the Room of Requirement. The newer version. I do have two Room of Requirement set up here. They're kind of close to each other, and I figured because the room looks different each time you enter it, it was okay to keep this duplicate room. And then you can see my gift with purchase with the Grand Hall stairs. And I actually have them leading up to the room with Fluffy, because that's the moving staircase is how they ended up on the third floor. Finding Fluffy, so I've got that there. And then not sure if there's a good photo that demonstrates this, but underneath Fluffy I've moved the Devil's Snare there. I think it came in the Great Hall instead, but I did some modifications because right under Fluffy was the trapdoor that leads to the Devil's Snare. Another thing you probably aren't able to see, but under the girls' bathroom, I've put the slide that leads to the Chamber of Secrets. So that's a pretty cool feature. Now here we get an up close of my Gryffindor dorms. This is probably the favorite thing that I've modified. Here you can see I've used the gift with purchase dormitory. I also added a bed for Ron in the middle there. And I've stuffed this space full of little meaningful things to Harry. So I've got the firebolt wrapped up from Sirius. Over by Neville's bed, I've got the Sword of Gryffindor. On Ron's bed, I have the Slytherin locket and a broken wand. There's lots of chocolate frogs. We've got the Triwizard Cup. There's a Yule Ball poster over there. Beside that is the Remembrall. In this trunk, we've got the Marauders map. It's fully stretched out, so it's kind of hiding. Harry's acceptance letter to Hogwarts. His ticket for the train. His name from being put in the Goblet of Fire. We've got a ring. I just included that for no reason. A chocolate bar. Got 2 apples to kind of represent Draco. I really love Draco, and I am a huge Drarry fan, but that's just personally me. Then we've got the golden egg. On Harry's bed is the Marauders map. Under it's the invisibility cloak. And that's kind of how I've done the space. There's also a bottle of pumpkin juice, but that's not really significant. Oh yeah, so here's a good view to see how I've got the chute going underneath into the Chamber of Secrets from the bathroom. That bathroom piece actually does lift up. If you don't know, I haven't reviewed that set on here, so you might not be familiar with it. The bathroom mirror lifts up and there's a hole, and if you get the Great Hall, you can put the pieces so that they align to have that underneath. And then in the back here, this piece is kind of falling down. I needed to fix it, but since I was taking it out apart, I didn't end up fixing it. I have this kind of precariously standing, like really hanging on a thread, room with Professor Sinestra in it. Yeah, it doesn't look very good, but I'll fix it once I reset it up. And then over here, I've got the newer hospital wing on top of that Fluffy's room. And on top of that, the clock tower. And then we're heading into the older half of my Lego collection. I also have Ron's chess set that's technically in the Gryffindor space. And here's where my little room of requirements starts, and I've actually lined it with some flags from the advent calendar since it only came with one roll. I've got this little green area that I've added, or herbology classroom that I've added some things to make it more full. And beside that is where I keep the first flying lesson set. And this moves into the prefect's washroom and Dumbledore's second office. I haven't figured out what to do with this yet. Then we've got Slughorn's classroom. And this is all just like the typical clock tower set here. But I have added Luna's personal belongings into the Ravenclaw dorms. This is a closer look into my room of requirement. This is where I keep the Dumbledore's Army sign-up sheet and a box of wands, as well as some advent calendar builds for this to be a comfortable space for people to hang out. And then in the original clock tower build, I think I call the other one the clock tower. I'm an astronomy tower. This one to the right is actually the clock tower. And what I've done with it here, because on the top floor it had a hospital wing, and then I got the hospital wing set. I've taken out those pieces and I wanted to turn it into a divination classroom. I haven't done that yet, but I've put Trelawney's teacup in there to signify that's what I want to do. On the top I've got Hedwig flying. Middle level is the same. Bottom level in the center is the Goblet of Fire from the Advent calendar. Not that came with this set, because the one that came with this set was pretty pathetic. And then I've added some tables as like a study hall kind of area that they do typically have in some of the Hogwarts or Harry Potter movies. On the other side, top here, I've got a Dementor, and behind everything is where I keep the Yule Ball portion of the castle, because that's not typically used and it can't be seen from back there. And then just sitting on the side is where I keep the new Black Lake task. As well, that's where I store the carriage, because I don't have any room on the actual table. So that is my entire Hogwarts setup. Let me know what you think of it. Should I keep it like this when I set it up again after I move? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel and check out my previous videos.